welcome to Insert Witty Pun Name here. We'll be talking about horror. I'd just like to take the opportunity to say that horror as a genre is my favorite, even though whenever I'm getting chased in a horror title, my pants are wetter than a water park. With that in mind, I'm Game B19 and I'm here to talk about horror, how it's done right, how it's done wrong, what devs can do to make it better, and so on. First things first, jump scares, or the startle response. Now, I'm not opposed to the startle response, but it's definitely gotten to the point where jump scares are overused and relied on too heavily, to the point where some people are just immune to it. Now that I think about it, Outlast 2 had some pretty good startle responses. My expectations for that game were quite high, and they did in fact nail it. Anyways, this isn't a review, so I won't be on Outlast 2 for too long. Now, the startle response has been a staple on horror titles, from movies to TV shows to games and now YouTube videos. Don't worry, there's no jump scares here. But can you trust me? Anyways, like I said, the startle response is the easiest way to jump scare someone. It doesn't even matter what's happening on screen. You know, a slice of bread pops out of the toaster at the beginning of the first Silent Hill movie, so there's that. But there is a saving grace for the aforementioned startle response, it being done right. There is a way it can be done right, and it is called tension building. Which takes me to another horror staple I wanted to babble on about, tension building. Duh. Building tension is very easy, which is why it's very perplexing that some devs and directors don't do it. I mean, listen here. The young man quivers and trembles as the smoking gun is dropped onto the floor, which the camera pans down to reveal the newly deceased person being himself. See? Legit just made that up. It wasn't even that difficult, too. There was actually a scene from a horror movie that I saw a little while ago, and when I say a little while ago, I mean a few years, so forgive me for not being able to remember the bloody name. There was a scene where the camera panned up to showcase a hole in the roof, and the camera basically stopped and then started zooming into the hole, and I swear to you, nothing happened. I was very proud of the director for not adding in a jump scare. That scene blue-balled me so hard in the good way. It set my expectations, and it took those expectations, scrunched them into a tennis ball, and played beach cricket with it. And at the end of the day, that wasn't even a complaint. I was very proud of the movie for not showing a creepy little girl in my face. So I'm congratulating you. I'm congratulating you like a lion who learned that his nuts are tucked in between his legs. Now, I did say I'll talk about horror done wrong, and I'm getting to that, but real quick, I need to talk about something very important to me. A key difference between a cheap startle response and a well-deserved startle response. A good jump scare is subtle. A bad jump scare jumps out of the closet with a silly hat on, and the composer slamming his hands down on all the keys of a piano while the jump scare goes a boogly woogie. To demonstrate this, I'm going to talk about Dead Space. In my mind, it's a sound game. But is it a true horror game, or just having horror elements? The answer may surprise you, it's not. Just because the zombie aliens jump out from the vents going, ah, while the whole orchestra trips over their loudest sounding instruments and jump startles you, I can't consider it to be a true horror title. The same can be said for Fear series. Unfortunately, consumerism has mixed up horrific atmosphere with people in silly hats going a boogly woogie. With true horror atmosphere and tension, there's another key word, that being subtlety. Subtlety is the epitome of all horror, in the words of the charismatic and truly amazing critic Yahtzee from Escapist puts it. But true horror is easy. Create a world and let the player's imagination do the work. I paraphrase that a little bit. Link in the description of Escapist magazine and a personal recommendation video. I have never agreed with a human being more in my life, which leads me to my final mini topic, exposure. Overexposure breaks the horror. While yes, in some cases it's scary, sure, but let me hit you with some knowledge. Slender took the gaming and internet world by storm in 2012. Its unique and simple gameplay meant that anyone with a webcam could, and probably did, made a Let's Play on the internet phenomenon. At the time, Slender was the real deal. His appearance was vacant and expressionless, which meant that the player could paste their own fears onto it. But the more we saw Slender, the less horrifying and shocking he got. There are countless Slender games out there, and his overexposure was his downfall, although internet fads don't usually last long anyway. Thinking back now, Markiplier filmed a live stream of himself playing the original Slender Man game, and where he gets startled a few times, but he's never really scared. Comparing him to a video he did when he first played the Slender game, he was comparatively more scared. Anyways, that was a little rise and downfall of Slender. Let's chat about the most infamous and most popular indie game with lore deep as hell, which you can only find outside of the game for some reason, and so many theories out there about it. It's insane. Yeah, you guessed it, FNAF franchise. while I don't hate it, I've never really been interested in it. I've heard positive things about the last two games to come out, with how it tries to shake things up a little bit to recapture the original game's feeling. I mean, it's been about 3 years since the first game came out, and yet I still couldn't give two bleeding shits about it. I mean, there's books and a movie coming out, and it feels too overdone. There's the exposure I was talking about before. It seems that Scott Cawthon has gone about quiet, too, about his news. I haven't heard anything from him in a while. While the games do get some merit for having an atmosphere, but that atmosphere grinds to a screeching halt as the animatronic shouts a boogly woogie at your face in the highest pitch ever. I mean, at the end of the day, the horror genre is without a doubt, in my mind, dying. But it's nice to see that some AAA developers are actually putting thought into horror. I can't tell you how joyful I was playing Resident Evil 7. Oh wait, I can tell you how joyful I was. Very. Well, hello all. Yeah, my name is GamingBin19, and that was my pilot episode for a show where I basically just dissect genres, game mechanics, and stuff. I just talk about stuff, from games, movies, TV shows, whatever. Yeah, basically, just babbling on about it. I had the script lying there for a while, and so I thought, may as well, work on it. As you can see with the credits, Souls Lamont by Philip Wesley in the description, and that video I was talking about from the critic that I referenced will be there as well. So be sure to check out those videos. Yeah, that's all I got to say, really. Thanks for tuning in. This has been GamingBin19, and I will see you later. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks. Goodbye.